Okay, now I want to show you how to draw the true shape of the section of a truncated solid figure. So as written here, to draw the true shape of the section of truncated solid figures. When we are talking about the true shape, let me show you what I mean by true shape. When we are talking about true shape, or let me start with a truncated solid figure. A truncated solid figure, as we know solid figures or solid shapes in mathematics, in technical drawing, I'm talking about cylinder, I'm talking about cuboid, I'm talking about prisms, I'm talking about cones, and so on. So a truncated solid figure is a solid figure that is cut at a particular part of it, or a particular part of it is cut off. As you can see in this diagram, this is a square prism, and if you look at this square prism very well, it is partially completed. I completed it. I used red pen to make it complete as a solid square prism. Now, part of it which you can hardly see is cut off. So having cutting that part off, then we have the remaining part. The remaining part is what we have here, So when a solid object is cut, or let me give you this example. You have an orange in your hand and you take a knife, you cut part of it, or you cut it into two parts. So by the time you remove the upper part, the remaining half that you have in your hand, you will see a circular surface that will look rough on its upper part. So the same thing applies to this square prism whose part has been cut off, and we have something left. What we have left is what I'm showing you here. This is what we have left. So the part that remains is what we have here, and the surface that looks rough is what we have here. And we have to show the rough surface, we have to show it with the use of hatching lines, and that is what I've done here. So when a part of a solid object is cut off, the remaining part is called a frustum, and on the top part of that frustum we have a rough surface, and that's what I've shown here. This is a frustum, or we call it a truncated solid. Okay, now what I want to show you now is how you can draw the true shape of the section of a truncated solid figure. Now we are starting with what we have here, and if you look at this is a triangular prism. This is a rectangular prism, not triangular. Is a rectangular prism. Don't forget that a prism is named with the cross section of its base, or with the shape of its base. So if the shape of its base is a square, we call it a square prism, as we have here. So this shape here is a square, so that makes us to call it a square prism. And if the base is in triangular form, we call it a triangular prism. If it is an hexagonal form, we call it an hexagonal prism. Okay, now whenever we are asked to produce the true shape of the section of a truncated solid, what we usually draw on our paper is the orthographic view of that solid, the orthographic view of that solid. Okay, so as we have here, so if I want to produce the orthographic view of this square prism, what I will do is that I will draw a square, which is the plan. if I'm looking at it from the top here, I have a square. So I will draw it as my plan, a square as my plan, and the front view will be in form of a rectangle, depending on how the solid is positioned. So this is isometric view of this prism. This is isometric view of it. So if I want to produce its orthographic view, it will look different from what we have here. So for this rectangular prism, this is the plan. This is the plan, while this is the front view. Now, as I said that, if you take a knife and use that knife to cut an orange, that knife in technical drawing, we don't call it a knife, we call it cutting plane. So a cutting plane is a device, or let me call it a tool. Is a tool that is used to cut a solid object. So in technical drawing, whenever we are talking about a cutting plane, we use a line like this. We use a line like this as a cutting plane. We use it as a cutting plane. So looking at this rectangular prism, so the cutting plane cuts off part of it. It cuts off part of it. So it's a solid rectangular prism. So we want to show its true section shape of section. That's what we want to do. Now, if you are to do this, so it depends on the angle at which the cutting plane is inclined to the horizontal. So for this one that I've produced here, the cutting plane is inclined at an angle 30 to the horizontal. So now, if we are to produce the true shape of the section, this is what you are going to do. Since the cutting plane is inclined at an angle 30 degrees to the horizontal, we are going to draw perpendicular lines that will be at right angle to this cutting plane. So if the cutting plane is inclined at an angle 30 degrees to the horizontal, so what you need to do is to take your set square, 60 by 30 degrees or 30 by 60 degrees set square. Take the 60 degree side. Take the 60 degree side of the set square. So put it at the point that you have on this elevation. Now, so because 30 plus 60 will give us 90, so that will make that line to be at right angle to the cutting plane. So if you look at this rectangle now, it has 4 points. It has 4 points or 4 corners, and this point is numbered 1. This is numbered 2. This is numbered 3, and this is numbered 4. So, and coming here, following this line that we have here, it contains 1 prime, 2 prime to differentiate it from what we have here, and this line contains 3 prime, 4 prime. So what you need to do now is to take the 60 degree side of your 30 by 30 60 degree set square. So put it at this point. Now, so the cutting plane touched this line at this point here. It touched this line, this vertical line that comes out from 1 prime, 2 prime. It touched at this point, and it also touched this line 3 prime, 4 prime, which is this vertical line, touched at this point. So those are the 2 points that we are going to make use of. So what you need to do now, take the 60 degree side of your set square, bring it to this point here, which contains 1 prime, 2 prime. So bring it to this point, and you draw a line. So this line is perpendicular to the cutting plane. Then bring it to this point here, to point 3 prime, 4 prime, and also draw a line like this. Okay, so having done this, so the next thing that you need to do is to come to take your, so this one is simple. So just take your set square, take your compass. So take the measurement of the width. Take the measurement of the width of the rectangle in the plan. of the width of the rectangle in the plan, not the length but the width. So take the measurement of the width and just come to anywhere on this line, come to anywhere on this line. Or if I want to, let me make it more clearer. So what you need to do is that just draw a line. So move away from the front view or the front elevation. So move away from it and draw a line. Draw a line. This line that you are drawing, you are using your 30-degree side to draw it, because this line that you want to draw must be parallel to the cutting plane. It must be parallel to the cutting plane. So to do that, we have to make use of the 30-degree side of our set square. So just move away from it and draw a line. Draw a line. So let it touch the two lines. Okay, so after that, so if we are looking at this in this direction, so this point now, this point will be 2. This point will be 2. So if we are looking at it in this direction, and then this point here will be 3. So here I have 3. So then the next thing I want to do is that take your compass and take the measurement of the width of the rectangle, as I've said before. So take the width of the rectangle, then put the compass at point 2 here. So you make an arc on this line, make an arc on this line, and then bring it to point 3 here, and then you make an arc here. So now, so we have this is point 1 and this is 2, which has already been written before. So I just want to make it more clearer. And then this point we have 4. So now, so what you need to do now is to join 1 and 4 together. Join 1 and 4 together. So this is it. Join them together like this. Okay, and then so I want to make 2 and 3, length 2 and 3. So I want to make it thick. Okay, and also for this, make it thick here, and also make this thick. Now the next thing that we are going to do now, as I've said, that this is a solid object, and that when a part of it is cut off, the remaining part that we have, its upper surface will look rough. So we now need to show the roughness of that surface. So what you need to do now is to take your 45-degree set square and hash this surface. So take your 45-degree set square and draw hatching lines, which must be equally spaced. Okay, so as I'm doing here, so just look at it. Okay, so this is how you go on. So use your 45-degree set square to do it. And make sure the space between the hatching lines are almost equal. You don't have to measure it. So I've said this several times. I've watched my videos on the production of true section of a truncated object. So you'll have heard me say that. Okay, so we're almost done. Okay, all right, so we are done with this. So this is the true shape of the section of a truncated rectangular prism. Okay, so the next one that you want to do now is that you want to produce the true shape of the section of hexagonal prism. So this is hexagonal prism. So I've produced what we need. This is the plan and this is the front elevation. This is the front elevation. So I've done that already. So the next thing that we are going to do is that, okay, so looking at this plan, so there are 6 corners. This is corner 1, corner 2, corner 3, corner 4, corner 5, corner 6. And then if I produce this corner, if I'm looking at this object in this direction, so I produce this corner, so I have this line, produce this 1, 2, and 6 are together, I have this thick line. And 3 and 5 are together, I have this line, and 4 is here, I have this line. So that's what I have done. So this is the cutting plane, and the cutting plane is inclined at an angle 30 degrees. So I said that if the cutting plane is inclined at an angle 30 degrees, for you to draw perpendicular lines on which we are going to produce the true shape, you have to make use of your 60 degree set square to draw that, so that the line can be perpendicular to the cutting plane. So now, so having done that, so I take my 60 degree set square. So this point contains 1, this line contains 1, so this is point 1 prime, this is point 2 and 6 prime, this is point 3 and 5 prime, and this is point 4 prime. So I just bring my set square to this point, and okay, so I bring my set square to this point and draw a line. That line is perpendicular to the cutting plane. Okay, so draw this, then bring this here, draw this, and then bring it here and draw this. Okay, so for us to produce the true shape, we still need to do something that I need to explain to you. So just move away from the object, take the 30 degree side of the set square and draw a line like this. So draw a line. Okay, so what I said you want to do is this: produce horizontal line from this line that contains 2 and 3. Produce horizontal line to this side. So this point contains, or this line contains 1 and 4. Also draw horizontal line to this side, and this line contains 6, 5 and 6. So from there, draw horizontal line to the left side, as I've done here. So come to this point. So just move, take your set square, set it on your T-square, and move away from the plan. So draw a vertical line. So this line that we have here, this line here contains 2 and 3. Contains 2 and 3. Okay, so this contains 1 and 4. This contains 1 and 4, and this contains 5 and 6. So that's what we have here. Now I want you to look at something. If you look at this line that we have here, this line contains, is in the middle, is in between 2, 3, line 2, 3 and line 5, 6. So, and it contains 1 and 4. So meaning that we can come to this line. Look at this line now, this line that I drew here. Okay, so I can call this, if I follow this line like this, this is line 1, and it goes, and we also have it as line 1 here. So I can call this point, this is point 1 here, and coming here, following this line and going up like this, this is what? This is point 4. I have point 4 here, and I have point 1 here. Okay, now, so the next thing that you are going to do is that take your compass. So take your compass. So now take your compass. So what we are going to do, distance from here to here, distance between 1, 4, 5, 6 is also the same as distance 1, 4, 2, 3. So just take one of them. So what I'm saying is this: put your compass at this point where we have 1, 4, and extend to 5, 6, or extend to 2, 3. So then coming here like this, this line contains 2 and 6. It contains 2 and 6, and going up like this, we have what? We have it. This is the line. So put the compass at the midpoint, or at the point of intersection of the line that contains 2 and 6 and this line that contains 1 and 4. So put your compass here, and you make an arc here. Okay, and then you turn to this side, you also make an arc here. Okay, so the same thing, come to line that contains 3 and 5. So going like this, this is the line. So put it at the point of intersection of that line and the line that contains 4 and 1 and 4. So make an arc here, and then you make an arc here. Okay, so looking at this now, so I have what? Here I have 2. This is my 2, and this is where I have 3. and then here I have 5, and this is 6. So I'm going to join them together with straight lines. So I will join 4, 5 together. So 4, 5. So join them together. Okay, this is it. And then 5, 6. Join them together like this. And then we have what? We have 1, 6. Join them together. This is it. Okay, then 1, 2. 1, 2. Join them together. And then 2, 3. 2, 3. So join them together. And then we join 3, 4 together. So this is it. Alright, so since the object is a solid, we have to hatch the shape. This shape we have to hash it. So take your 45-degree set square as we did for the previous one and produce hatching lines as I'm doing here. Don't forget that the space between the hatching lines must be equal. So if not equal, it should be almost. Okay. Okay, so just take it easy. You don't have to rush. So this is a technical work, so whoever is doing it should not be in hurry. Should not be in hurry. So you have to be patient. And also you must be dedicated for you to get the work done. So the work is done here. So this is the true shape. This is the true shape of the truncated hexagonal prism. Okay, so the last one that I'm going to show you here is a truncated cylinder or frustum of cylinder. So I've drawn the plan. This is the plan. As you know that the plan of a cylinder is in circular form. So and part of it has been cut off. So the rest is a frustum or a truncated cylinder. So and what I've done here, so I've produced lines here. So lines from each of these points. So this is line 1. This is line 1 here. This is point 1 on the cylinder. So I drew a line. This is the line, and this is line 2, 12. They are together. They are the same point. So I produced the line. It touched the cutting plane at this point. So line 1 touched the cutting plane at this point, and this line contains 4 and 10. Sorry, this line contains. Let me start with this. Okay, so this line contains 3 and 11. So by the time I produce this, it made the cutting plane at this point here. At this point, this is 410. So it made the cutting plane at this point here. And this is 5-9. It made the cutting plane at this point. And this is 6-8. It made the cutting plane at this point. And this is 7. It made the cutting plane at this point. Okay, so now if you look at this one now, the angle at which the cutting plane is to the horizontal is 45. The ones that we did before, the cutting planes are at 30 degrees to the horizontal, but this one is at 45 degrees. So when it is 45 degrees, you have to make use of your 45-degree set square to draw perpendicular lines to this cutting plane. So because 45 plus 45 is 90, but if it's 30, you have to use your 60-degree set square to draw that perpendicular lines. So what I'm going to do now is that this is my 45-degree set square. So I put at this point 1 here. At point 1, prime. So draw a line here. So move to the next point, so you draw a line. Then you move to the next point, so you draw a line. So move to the next point, so draw a line. So move to the next one, so draw a line. So move it to the next one, so draw a line, and move to the next one, you draw a line. So then you need to draw a parallel line. You move away from it. Make sure you move away from it very well. So you have to draw a parallel line to this, a line that is parallel to the cutting plane. So since the cutting plane is at 45 degrees to the horizontal, you also have to make use of 45 degree side of your set square. So that's what I'm doing here. So here we have what? Here we have this. Okay, so now looking at what we have here, let's come to the plan. Looking at what we have in the plan, so 1 and 7, they are at the center. They are the center of the circle. So mean that this point here, so if I follow this line here, this is line 1. So going like this and coming to here, this is still line 1. So this is my 1. And then this is 7. So going up on this line 7 and going like this, this is what? This is 7. This is 7. Okay. So next we have to get point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5, point 6, point 8, point 9, point 10, 11, and 12. Okay. So to do that, this is what you are going to do. So take your set square. Move it to, I'm starting from here, so move it to point 4. Draw a line like this as we did for the previous one. So this point 3 and 5, they are at the same point, so you can just produce it from point 5. So produce a line, horizontal line to this side. 2 and 6 are at the same point, so draw a line to this side. And then so 7 and 1, so we still need to extend that. And then 8 and 12 are at the same point, so produce horizontal line to this, to your left. Then 9 and 11 are at the same point, so draw horizontal line to the left. And 10 is the last one. 10 is the last one, so draw horizontal line to the left. Then take your set square, so move away from the plan and draw a vertical line like this. Draw a vertical line like this. So having drawn the vertical line, then so this point contains 1 and 7. So 1, 7, and this one contains 2 and 6. Here is 2 and 6, 2, 6, and this contains 3 and 5. So 3, 5, and this is what? This is 4. So here I have 4. And then if I go up like this, this contains 8 and 12. This is 8 and 12. And this contains 9 and 11. This is 9, 11, and this is what? This is 10 here. So I only need one part of it. I don't need everything. So I only need one part of it because as we have here, so as we have here, 2, 6 is the same for 8, 12. 3, 5 is same as 11 at 9, 11, and 4 is same as what? As 10. So all you need to do is that take your compass, put it at the point of intersection of the vertical line and line that comes out from 1 and 7. So put your compass here at this point 1 and 7 here, and you extend to 2, 6. Extend to 2, 6. Don't forget what I've said, that 2, 6 we work for 8, 12. Work for 8, 12. So extend to 2, 6 here, and you take it up. So now look for line 2, 6, line 2, 12, line 2, 12. So this is line 2, 12 going like this. This is line 2, 12. So you go up like this. So coming to the point of intersection of this line and line that comes out from 2, 12. So put your compass here at this point here, and you make an arc here. then you make an arc here. So I will be numbering at the same time. That's what I'm going to do. So here, this point here, I have what? I have 2. And this point here, I have 12. Please don't rush. Just take it easy. Don't have to rush. Don't, just take it easy. This is a technical work. It requires patience. Okay, so then don't forget, as I said, that this 226, it also applies to 812. So if you look at what we have here, so 6 and 8, they are the same point. So trace it from here. So this is line 6, 8. So just go like this, and then you come to this point here, this point. Okay, so then you make an arc here, and you make an arc here. Okay, so this point here, this point here, this point. So this point is what? This is where we have 6, and this is where we have 8. 8 is here. Okay, then the next is from this point 17, extend to 35. Don't forget what I said, 35, and we work for 9, 11. To work for 9, 11. So coming to this point, here we have 3, 11. So we go on this line, and then we go like this. So this point, put it at this point here, at the point of intersection of this line. So make an arc here, and you also make an arc here. Okay, so this is this point here, I have 3 here, and this point here I have 11. So this point I have 11. Then we have what? We have 5 and 9. So 5, 9. So go up like this, and you move like this. So you move like this. So just go like this. I will come back to 10 and 4 later. So 5, 11, 5, 9. So 5, 9. So you move like this. So you come to this point here. So you make an arc here, and then you make an arc here. So this point is where we have 9. This point we have what? We have 5. Okay, so the last is we need 5 and 4 and 10. So put your compass at point 1 and 7 here, extend to 4. So 4 we work for 10. So if you look at 4 and 10, they are on the central line, on the center line. So going like this, this is the line, and you move up like this. So come to this point here. So you make an arc here, and then you make an arc here. Okay, so this point here is 10, and this point here is what? Here is 4. So I'm done with that. Now, so we need to join the point together. So don't forget, point 7 is part of it, point 1 is part of it. So take your French curves. I've taken my French curve. So take your French curve and join the point together. So take your French curve and join the point together. So I'm going to join it. I want you to see it. So I believe you know how to use your French curve. If you don't know how to use it, please, you need to learn how to use the French curve, okay, to produce perfect curve. So I'm joining it. Don't have to rush yourself. You can join it 1, 2 by just 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay. All right. So here. Okay. So this will form an ellipse, not a circle. So to give us an ellipse. So that's what I'm going to get when I'm done. All right, so we're almost done. We are almost done. Okay. So join this together. So just believe that you can do it. So I believe you can do it and do it better than I do. So this thing is simple. So all you need to do is to take it easy. Don't have to rush yourself. This is a technical work. So any work that is technical needs to be taken easily. Okay. So the last one is this. Okay, so this is it. So the next thing I'm going to do, don't forget that this is a solid object, so I need to add the surface. So taking my I can't use 45 degrees set square here because it's going to be, the line is going to be parallel. It will be parallel, and that is not okay. So what I'm going to use is my 30-degree set square. So don't use 45, use your 30 degree set square. So, and that's what I'm using now. Use it. So I want to arch it. I want you to see it. The arching lines must not be parallel to the lines that you to your construction lines. That is not acceptable in technical drawing. And don't forget, as I've said several times, the arching lines, the space between them must be equal. If not equal, it should be almost equal or nearly equal. Excuse me. Okay, we're almost done. We're almost done. You can see the way I'm doing it. So I'm taking it easy. Even if you are making use of computer to draw, you also need to take it easy. If not, you make a lot of mistake. Okay, almost done. Is the last one. Okay, done. All right, so this is the true shape of the section of this truncated cylinder, So I've showed you how you can produce the true section of a truncated rectangular prism. I also showed you how you can produce the true shape of section of a hexagonal prism, and I've also shown you how you can produce the true section of a truncated cylinder. So all that I've done here is very, very simple. It's very, very simple. So just take your time and do it as I've done. Okay, so thank you for watching my videos on YouTube. Subscribe, share it with friends who are technical drawing students, and also like the channel and continue watching my videos on YouTube. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.